But yeah, okay. And then, oh, shout out Sarah Vaughn, another pro runner. And we had an episode with her. She's a 427 miler and like a 226 CIM course record marathoner.
Casual.
So she's sick. She has a Puma deal now. She had said, is Coros interested in sponsoring a cool mom runner? So that's my plug, Sarah. Here, we'll start now, officially. Welcome back to another episode of Talking While Running. Special guest today, the one and only Allison Lynch. Thanks for joining me. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm chilling. So, when we were I was DMing Allison, getting her on the show, and she initially said, like, I'm not a pro runner. I don't know if I should be on. I was like, no. We want to talk to all different types of personalities, and I think I'm excited for this episode because you have a great perspective, and you're also no slouch at running yourself. So I just want to get that out of the way. But
thanks.
You're out here visiting in Boulder.
Yes.
First of all, let's go down kind of memory lane. How did you get into running initially?
Yeah.
And end up kind of where you are now?
Yeah. So my mom was a big runner. She was like she ran at Babson College.
Nice. Yeah.
You know Babson. She was like a 5K, 10K. She's pretty good, and she ran a bunch of marathons. So she told me to go out for the cross-country team my freshman year of high school. I was like, absolutely not. This does not look fun. Lo and behold, I, went out for the first season, loved it. I was pretty good at it, and then I stuck with it, like, all through high school. But I had a lot of issues with, like, injury and nutrition, so I didn't really have a great collegiate, like, running career.
Okay.
So I actually got like way more serious about it like after I graduated college.
Okay.
And I ran for Greater Boston Track Club for 7 years. So.
Nice. A masshole, I should have said. You're from
I am a masshole.
Massachusetts originally.
Yes.
You did I mean, you glossed over, but you ran at Gordon College. You said wasn't the best experience, but like, what was kind of sticks out? Because I do know, did some research. You won a race your senior year in cross.
I won a lot of races, but it was a small Division III program, so I don't think it was very competitive. But I did my best.
Yeah. That's what counts out here.
Yeah.
So, you went on to Whoop.
Yes.
Which I want to get all the way into. I'm familiar, obviously, from the early days because they're Boston area company. What was like that initial experience like? First of all, how did you get started there, and what kind of caught your eye to start working there?
So I graduated college in 2012. Straight out of college, I started working for a digital marketing agency.
Okay.
Doing like content strategy, content development. Whoop actually reached out to me on LinkedIn.
Nice.
Like they recruited me, and I was like, I've never heard of this company. Like, it was a small company, like the product hadn't even launched yet. But like, I took a risk and I was like, sure, why not? So I left my previous job. I started working for them, and like, I worked for them for 6 years.
Wow.
And I got in really early.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I got in at the early stages.
So how many employees at that time would you estimate?
40.
Okay.
And I think now they're like over 500.
For sure.
So I had a really like magical experience there, honestly. Like I got to see every phase of the business, from the beta testing and like, all the way up to being like a $3.5 billion product.
Yeah.
It was kind of wild to be a part of that journey and see all the ups and downs.
Yeah, like let's go. Is there any big down that you remembered? I know we don't have to highlight the bad stuff only, but I feel like those are fun startup stories of when everything goes wrong.
Well, I didn't sign any NDAs, so.
Okay, I love it.
No, there was a point where, like, we didn't know if we could make payroll.
Yeah.
Like, we had to do, like, a round of layoffs.
You're good. Oh, wow.
And I remember we were, like, waiting for, like, an investor check to clear or something. And, like, our CFO was like, yeah, like, we might not be able to make payroll. And I was like, awesome.
Dang.
Great.
How long into the, your stint there was it?
It's been like 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So like we really started to pick up steam. I'd say like 3 years into me working there.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a grind. I wore 20 different hats.
Right.
I was the marketing department for about 3 years.
That's awesome.
I did social media, email, photo shoot production, creative operations. 'Cause there were 3 people.
Yeah,
in the
that's
marketing
amazing.
department. So like, I've always had a really entrepreneurial spirit. Like,
Right.
I love startups. I love diving right in.
Yeah.
Which is why going to Coros now is like.
Yeah.
They're also.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I think like I've always thought like, oh, it'd be so cool to like work for a Nike or Adidas, but
Right. Before they were what they were.
Yeah, like they're also so siloed and specialized. Like there's not a lot of like movement you can do. I think once you're stuck in a role there. So I don't know. I've always liked roles where like I can kind of define my career as I go.
And you said you started picking up steam. It felt like 3 years in-ish.
Yeah, I'd say so.
What kind of made you feel that? Was there any moment, or like, was it just sales, or like followers, or what kind of gave you that?
I think a bit, yeah. It was consumer sales. It was also athlete retention. It was like, okay, we're getting recognized by some of the best athletes in the world. We have.
You have Mahomes at that time, or?
We have Mahomes. We have Roy McIlroy. We have Phelps.
Yeah.
And they're just using the product like organically. Like.
Really?
Yeah. A couple. Well, I don't know. It was like we had given them product. Like.
Okay.
But like they used it without us paying them.
Okay, that's sick.
We actually had LeBron on. For a short period. He was like wearing it in a Kia commercial.
LeBron James.
So I can try to find that screenshot because he's like.
Yeah, I'll drop that in.
In the Kia commercial, but I think like just athletes wearing it and like people start to trust the product because they see their favorite athletes wearing it.
Right, that's huge.
So yeah.
Okay, and then let's go like biggest lesson from your role specifically, like marketing and everything. What was the biggest lesson takeaway from that whole experience? So you could boil it down.
Oh, good question.
Thank you.
I think not getting too far ahead of yourself as a brand. I think, like, I'm not gonna talk badly about Whoop or anything.
Of course.
It's a great company, great people. I think we struggled to define our product and who we were for.
Okay.
Because we started out for like elite athletes, and it was very. We were working with like NCAA programs and like professional basketball teams and stuff. And then we started getting more into like lifestyle consumer, like everyday person.
Sure.
But like people still thought we were like a product for like elite athletes.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we were also like sport agnostic. Like we didn't really have an affinity for any specific sport, which made it hard because like we were trying to be so many different things at once. Like
that makes sense.
Are we golf? Are we cycling? Are we
right.
CrossFit? Like people thought we were a CrossFit brand for a long time.
Sure, yeah.
We only did CrossFit content, so.
Yeah, so I know you got into off of that, like you got into the running.
Yeah.
Head of that stuff. So.
Right.
Obviously, I mean, for me, it makes sense. Like, I love running. I love the community. But was it super fun and easy to go into the running, like, sphere of things, or what was kind of that like once you started honing in on the running?
Yeah, so I took ownership of the running category in 2020. I was the only person responsible for growing that category. For me, it was easy. Like, I love running. I have a network of people. Like, but the brand had different ideas of, run it. Like, they just didn't really want to go in that direction. So it was hard for me sometimes to build the category the way I wanted to.
Right.
But we still had a lot of success. Like, that's when I reached out to Tinman.
Yep.
And I I said, and you know, we had a 2-year contract with them. Like that moment, like partnering with Tinman was huge.
Shout out.
For us, because like I think it just opened the doors to a lot of, you know.
Well, eyeballs.
Space.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
What so not to get too nerdy, but like I know that from the spec side, like Whoop doesn't have a GPS tracking, so was that kind of part of what you were talking about, and not going necessarily full attack on runners, or was that not relevant?
No, it was a challenge in the product because a lot of runners were like, well, I want to see my pace, I want to see
Right.
So having to explain to people like this is a recovery tool,
Right.
sleep tool, was a challenge sometimes, but I mean, runners need that.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
It's obviously, it's 2/3 of the puzzle.
Exactly,
So,
at least.
But still, it was a challenge because people were like, well, I have a GPS watch, like, why do I need another thing on my wrist?
Right. Which segues in, well, to the next chapter, which you're now working with Coros.
Yes.
So first of all, how did that come about? Obviously, it's maybe self-explanatory, just like we just were talking about, GPS running world, but you know, what got you excited about that, and how did that kind of come to be?
Yeah. So I took a lot of time off after Whoop. I needed time for myself.
Yeah,
like,
6 years, I mean.
Like, I needed like a mental break.
Yeah.
And I was freelancing for a little bit. Started applying for jobs back in June. Had, 20 interviews with 20 different companies. Like, kept interviewing. Would make it to the final stage, and then like didn't meet my salary expectations. Or, like, didn't want to move to like Austin, Texas. Like, nothing was really
Track? No,
fitting.
just kidding.
Yeti.
Oh, nice,
Coros,
nice.
Yeah, and then I saw Coros because I had a friend who worked there, and I was like, this is a cool company. So I reached out to them.
Oh, wow.
They didn't have a job open. I reached out to them and I said, hey, I know you're trying to grow like in the running space.
Yeah.
I put together a media deck.
No way.
Yeah, I put together a media deck. Had a call with their CEO within a week. Within 2 weeks, they hired me.
That's sick.
So
just pitched it.
I pitched it.
Yeah.
Said this is what I can do for you. This is how I can grow your brand.
Okay, without getting too much into it, what was any nugget you can share from the deck that
I pitched in my Tinman Elite.
Oh, nice.
I just partnered with Coros, so that was one aspect of it.
Heck yeah.
I was like, I manage this contract, this relationship. Like, here's how we can leverage, you know, that partnership.
Right, with your tag.
So, and I think they need a bit of help as a brand with content production. Like, they're just a small team.
Yeah. But also killing it, like.
Oh, absolutely.
So, shameless plug, they connect with Trackster.
Yes.
And I love it. They sent me a free device, and I was blown away with the battery, first off.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, all the features, but the battery, first off, was like, just stunning. There's no other way to describe it, because I haven't seen a watch like that. So I think that is a big part of why they're taking over. And obviously they also have like, they had Kipchoge, I don't know if they still do, but
I think they do, yeah.
Yeah, which, a lot of good moves being made.
Yeah.
Anything else, I guess, that gets you excited about the company and the role in the future ahead besides the Tinman collab?
Well, I just like that they're very specialized in running. Like, the product is for runners, for endurance athletes. So there's a lot more technology that I'm excited about to use to, not only to use myself, but to like market to consumers that like Whoop didn't really have. So,
Right.
I'm excited to dive into that tech and like just grow with the brand.
So going off of that, like the GPS watch world, I'm obviously a big fan of the GPS watches. It's a huge part of our platform.
Yeah.
But the reality is that it can work to the detriment of an athlete if they get too obsessed with it.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of balance that, or maybe plan to balance that in your marketing and messaging to people of like, I don't know, take it with a grain of salt, you still got to be mentally strong? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I think like yeah, tech can be a blessing and a curse.
Right.
The thing is, like, tech's not going away.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's only gonna get more, like, better.
Yep.
And it's only gonna get, like, creepier in a way. Like,
yeah.
I think you have to
track
like,
more and
embrace technology in a way and like view it as a tool and not like, you know, this is my life or death. Like,
exactly.
Because yeah, like there's always going to be some margin of error with any type of tech you're using. So like, you just have to be like realistic about that.
Okay, we're gonna flip here.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, and going like I think actually the GPS data that it collects is almost 100% accurate at this point. It's getting so good, but it's more about, in my mind, just making sure that, I don't know, you're not obsessing. A funny thing I've heard from two of, I would say, the best coaches I know, I won't name names, but like elite coaches, they both have told me that multiple times during workouts they'll take the watch from their athletes and then say they're doing 200s.
Yeah.
They will tell the athlete that they're running at a different time than they actually are running, which I always thought was interesting. And it's like, as we get more and more into everyone's wearing a watch, like that kind of isn't going to be possible. But I don't know if that's even really a good strategy in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like just line your athletes, but
I don't know. Yeah, that would definitely like not super.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did get a question from the GOAT, in my opinion, friend of the brand Trackster, but also Coros.
Yes.
Des Linden.
Oh, hell yeah.
She said, anything new on the horizon from Coros that you can share? And I know you just started, so maybe not there yet.
Okay, I don't know if I can share this.
Okay, we'll cut it if not.
I'll have to check, but yes, there is like a...
I bet that's what, I bet she knows about that.
She probably does,
yeah.
It's still in like beta right now, but, and then, again, I don't know if I can say this, but...
We'll bleep it.
They are looking to expand to more sport verticals.
Okay.
So not just running, so, take what you will from that.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
You know, more products for different sport categories.
Very cool.
That's kind of the long-term trajectory.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Shout out Des, thanks for the questions to everyone who submitted on Insta, but we had to start with a good one. And she's obviously a Coros athlete. You can follow all of Des' training on Trackster while we're at it.
Nice.
So kind of switching gears for sure. Oh, we're getting dropped, okay.
Close downhill, we can
Yeah, we're done.
do that a little bit.
Switching gears from the GPS and the tech brands now to shoe brands I want to touch on.
Yeah.
So it's not something that you've obviously done, or that I know of.
I worked in run specialty.
Damn it, I was about to, I knew
for
that.
2 years, so.
Yeah. Greater Boston.
Great Boston Running Company.
There we go. All right, so I wanted to ask, from those days at the shoe store to now,
Yeah.
what's been the biggest change that you've kind of observed? Because I know from your marketing perspective, you're going to be always keen on that.
Yeah.
What have you taken away, or maybe has caught your attention from the shoe brands, as general as that is?
Let's see, yeah, because this is like literally 10 years ago that I worked in
Yeah.
But, I mean, the carbon plates, like, the super shoes did not exist.
Right.
The shoes continue to get lighter, they continue to get springier. Trying to think.
Anything from like any marketing campaign or a brand that you really think is doing it the right way?
I remember when I was working in the store, like, I remember when I first learned about Hoka and On.
Okay.
Because the tech reps would come into the store and they would, show the shoe and they would talk about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are these shoes? Like, they're so different. They're so like weird looking.
For sure. You remember On that long ago? Was in it? Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember, and I remember trying them on. And I was like, these aren't comfortable. But I think the technology has
definitely,
significantly improved. Like, I've tried like the Cloud Monsters and stuff, and those are comfortable. But yeah, I think you're seeing a lot of brands like trying to break the mold of like that like old school running shoe mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, like with Hoka and On, they're just like built differently. They're not like they're just like experimenting with new things. And I think people are more open to that.
Absolutely. Especially, I think Hoka did, because I remember when they were the first like real chunker out there, and that really.
Yeah, they were like 3 inches tall.
Yeah. People were like, what the heck? And then now, well, obviously the super shoes are part of that too now, but it's not uncommon to see everyone wearing super tall ones. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, keep going,
I do
please.
have one more thing too.
Yeah.
I think you're starting to see a huge shift into lifestyle. Every single running brand now is trying to unlock that like streetwear lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like New Balance has done a great job. Hoka's doing it. I mean, Nike's always done it right, but like I think you see a lot of running brands like trying to be more mainstream, and like trying to be cool.
Right.
Not everyone. Like I feel like Brooks is very like we're running. That's all we do.
Right.
But, like New Balance, Nike, Adidas. Hoka.
Yeah, that is true.
You see people wearing Vaporflies or like walking their dogs or something.
Yeah.
Like,
especially in Boulder.
like this is the shoe I need to like get coffee.
Right. All right. Well, I'd be remiss if I had you, kind of low-key trapped on the show right now and didn't ask, what's your, I don't know, any advice for Trackster or running app? What do you think we should do to grow or unlock more growth, as you said? Or if you were in charge of a running app, what would be your approach?
Yeah.
Absolutely putting you on the spot.
You are pretty good. Well, what is your content strategy?
Well, this is a big part of it.
Okay.
Talking while running, because I'm out here in Boulder, so we have a lot of good opportunity to get some cool guests on.
Yeah.
So this has been a big one, and I think with Talking While Running, it's like everyone kind of has a podcast where people are in a studio or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a cool way to get people like out of their comfort zone a bit.
Sure.
And then one thing we haven't posted any yet, but is in the works is like we have a route record feature on Trackster, so you can like record your best effort over the same path and compete with people, kind of like Strava segments.
Yeah.
And we're doing workout videos where people like chase their best over that. So kind of like Sweat Elite-ish in that regard. But
I mean, what's your user base? Like, is
yeah,
it mostly
also
elite
good.
athletes? Is it
It's kind of spread. Like we started with more NCAA teams, but now we're moving into more hobby jogger, like general people. So now it's kind of been a challenge to, like you kind of said with Whoop, but we're all running, but straddling all those and trying to like
so you don't
connect
do
with all
cycling.
those. No cycling.
You want to stick to running.
Absolutely. So you can connect with Coros and whatnot and post cycling to Trackster, but as a brand, like we're full on running. Like,
see, I think you need to hone in on that because Strava has more cyclists than runners.
Yeah.
So you need to be
okay,
the
perfect.
running brand of.
That's what we're getting at.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, like how much you differ from Strava, like.
Yeah. So we have.
I'm sure there's a lot.
No. We have training plans built in, all free, so we don't have the subscription stuff. But really, the main differentiator for me is like that we are the place for runners. Anyway, that's all. But thank you. We can keep going.
Okay.
So I wanted to go on. You've been in LA.
Yeah.
You run in Boston. You've dabbled in Boulder.
Yeah.
What's kind of the best community that you've seen in running, and why? And any cool like clubs or groups that you like to meet up with?
Yeah. Boston's a great running community. It's competitive. It's like Ivy Leaguers.
Yeah.
It's a very competitive, kind of like driven atmosphere. There's a lot of running clubs.
Yeah. Cold winters.
Very cold winters, but incredible access to tracks. Best tracks in the world. Reggie.
Yep. They just added the New Balance one.
Yeah, they just, I
haven't been there yet.
I haven't been there yet, but I definitely want to check it out. It's a great running culture. And then moving to LA is very, very different.
Okay.
It's way more laid back. There's a huge trail scene in LA. And the challenge for me is that like nobody does middle distance. Like I had a group that I was training with in Boston, and then I moved to LA, and like people are like, what? Like you run the 800? Like,
I mean, yeah, that
what is
makes
that?
some sense from it, because they're all trying to do like a half marathon and stuff out there.
A lot of people do like ultras.
Oh, okay.
Like trail races.
Yeah.
There's like a big race, the Bulldog 50K out there.
The weather's so good, you might as well be outside all day.
Like great people. Like met some awesome people. But it's very it's not very like post-collegiate.
Right. Yeah,
it's
that
like,
makes sense.
It's like, oh, I got into running like later in life.
Where Boston is all colleges.
All college, yeah.
Yeah. So, shout out Jack Griffin for this question on Insta. He said, you know, in today's social media age, a big thing is for like pro runners or other people to be influencers kind of on their own and make their own brand. But then obviously, we still have the stuff like Whoop and Coros and Trackster who are trying to make their name known on the internet as a company. What's kind of the pros and cons in your mind of branding and marketing as an influencer individual versus a big company?
Yeah.
Especially like in the as a pro runner, I think people are in a kind of an interesting spot to brand themselves.
Yeah. Well, these days you have to have a brand.
Right. Exactly.
Like just the way it is, unless you are a Kipchoge.
Exactly.
And your times speak for themselves. Like you have to have an online presence. You have to be involved in the community.
You have to be on Talking About Running at least once.
Absolutely. You need to have a network. You need to have a community. And I think it's hard to build your own brand. Like, I mean, I was freelancing, and I was like, this is tough. It's tough to market myself. It's tough to like constantly pitch myself. So I do think it's easier as a brand, or it's easier if you have like a training group to latch onto to like help market yourself.
Yeah, right.
Doing the solo journey is tough. But wait, what was the question again?
No, that was honestly like shout out. Also, I'm just trying to get at because for pros, it just seems like some of them kind of are killing it in that way, and then some are also definitely struggling. It feels like
I think
that's not like a thing in other sports that you have to film your own workouts and
right.
But yeah, okay, and then shout out Sarah Vaughn, another pro runner, and we had an episode with her. She's a 4:27 miler and like a 2:26 CIM course record marathoner.
Casual.
So she's sick. She has a Puma deal now. She had said, "Is Coros interested in sponsoring a cool mom runner?" So that's my plug, Sarah.
I'm trying to. So one of my roles at Whoop was growing the women's side of the business.
Oh heck yeah!
Because user base, I don't know if I can give exact numbers, but heavily skews male for Whoop, skews male for Coros.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I think a lot of women just like they'll use Apple Watch or Fitbit, so the market is a little different. But yes, I am trying to grow the women's side of the business at Coros.
My 2 cents, Sarah's the way to go. She's a beast, great lady. Shout out. And then, do you know at Brenda Molly?
Yeah, my friend Brenda from.
She said, "What's your favorite?" Oh, she did. Okay, cool. So there you go. Sarah, the connection's there. She said, "What's your favorite dessert?" I don't know.
Gooey chocolate chip cookie that's just come out of the oven.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Any brand, like, or do you make it yourself?
It's homemade.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Fire. Well, we're approaching the end here. I think that was my last question. All the run details will be on Trackster. We'll drop all Alli's stuff, follow her, and all of her new stuff coming with Coros. Oh, wait, let's end on what's coming up for your own personal training or racing season.
Yeah, so I'm doing a 5K back in Santa Monica, which I won it last year, so I'm trying to win it again.
Oh, heck yeah.
Then I'm running Twin Cities 10 miler, and then probably Houston half. So I'm moving up in distance.
Yeah, I love it. Any marathon one day, or have you done that? Or?
I've done 2.
Oh, okay,
I don't know if I go back that
Been there,
direction,
done that.
But we'll see.
All right, we'll wrap it there. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, this is so fun.
Good? Fire. Oh, you're good. All right, let's rip it. We're rolling.